Well, hey, everybody, it's Mindy and Don Rickles. We're already having fun.
Yes, we are, Ed.
No time like the present.
Every moment with you is amazing.
Isn't it hilarious
Good morning.
being with me? Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Good morning, darling.
Thank
I love
you,
to call you
sweetheart.
darling, like Heart to Heart in the early 90s
Darling.
TV series that
Right.
many of you might remember.
Well, at this moment, you're listening to Ed Mann and Mindy Rickles, the happy couple of Encino.
That's right.
And at least we were happy as of
Yes.
about 5 days ago. And then
Oh, God.
something happened. But
God.
Let me do the backstory on this one.
Okay, you do it.
We got a new car. We were very excited. It was back in April, not that long ago. And that lasted all of 7 months, 8 months. And then Mindy
That's
wanted to
right.
go to lunch, and it was down the
other
street.
day. That's right. And I always, there's always problems with the car. I'm always calling you about the car because I don't understand, how to work something, the air conditioning, or, the music is playing too loudly. Everything is crazy in the car. But yes, I was able to get the car down the street to a restaurant. I was meeting a friend. It was very hot outside.
Well, yeah, that's why
Very
you drove.
hot.
It was
That's
literally
right.
a mile
I
away.
drove. Well, you were like, why don't you walk? And I was like, are you out of your mind? So yes, I drove. And I got there and I parked on the street in a completely, nice area. It was mobbed in the parking lot.
Metered street spot.
That's right. The parking lot was mobbed. So I thought, let me parallel park here because every time I have a chance to parallel park, it's a joy. It's right back to the parking lessons.
Come on.
The driving test. So I got in there. I was really happy. But, the sun was blazing outside and I forgot my hat. And when I forget my hat, my skin, which is like, white as snow, it's like albino skin. I cannot be in the sun. So I was very upset that I didn't have my hat. So I was kind of shielding my face from the beating sun of the valley. And I got out of the car. And my car's the kind of car, it's like you lock it, you think it's locked, it's not locked, it's not opened, you think it's not running,
You're still not sure if it was locked or not, but you hit the lock button.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
A common thing. In these newer cars, you never know if they're completely locked.
Right. So I'm not sure. I want to say that I locked it and whatever, but it's possible that it was unlocked and the motor was running because I was very involved with the parking meter. And, the sun is beating down on the parking meter, so you can't see a thing. So I just like to throw a credit card in there and let it run. If it could be $700, whatever, for 4 hours of parking, whatever it is, I can't look at it. I can't see anything anyway. So I just let it run. And I was shielding my eyes. I pulled the card out and I run into the restaurant. I sit there with my friend for 2 hours. I come out, I say goodbye to her. I go in the street to get the car. The car is gone. Now,
and you called me frantically.
That's right. Frantically, because I thought, I always screw things up. Did I bring the car? Maybe I took a bus to the restaurant. I don't remember. Maybe I Ubered there. But then I was like, no, that's not possible. I took the car and I kept walking back and forth. And I was like, once again, it was one of those, Ed, when I call out in that very shrill voice, Ed, help me.
That's
so
when
I
Harrison jumps back into his room. He doesn't want to hear the sound.
That's right. So I called you up and I told you what was going on. And, it was very upsetting. And thank God you were at home and you rushed to my side. You were immediately there for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you were not happy. Am I wrong? Am I right? You were not happy.
Well, I could be happy, but I just thought, my first thought was, well, you don't know where the car is. Because I remember once when I was in New York and I had parked at a restaurant. I told you the story last time we were in New York. I had parked on 3rd Avenue. And by the time I came out, they had brought the garbage out to the street for every restaurant on the street. So the car was completely blocked. I couldn't find the car. I thought, someone towed my car. This is terrible. And we walked down to where I thought the car was, pulled apart where the garbage cans are. In New York, they just dump it on the sidewalks. There's no alleys. And there's the car. And I thought, well, maybe there's garbage in front of the car. I mean, my mind was going to 20 different places. It was like, why can't Mindy find her car?
Well, that's the thing. My first thought was the car was towed. It never entered my mind.
Exactly.
And considering that I'm like a detective on my own, I'm a forensic pathologist in my own right, I would have remembered this could be a crime scene. This could be an absolute crime scene. There could be glass on the ground. There could be blood splatter. We don't know, right? But my
No.
thought was it didn't go to that. It went to that the car was towed, which
Yeah.
was not the case. And I
No.
couldn't believe it. And we drove up and down the street and it was absolutely gone. Now, on one hand, whoever took the car, I had this big bottle of sunscreen in the car, which was like a white lotion, which I had gotten all over the dash, which really doesn't come out. I tried to clean it. So they're going to be left with, a dash with a lot of white stains on it. And, I hate stains.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe there was an ulterior motive here. You're like, Ed and I can't clean this thing. It won't even come out with Windex.
I know.
Let's just leave the car running in front of the restaurant.
That's right.
And see what happens.
I don't want
to.
I know. I don't want to say that happened, but, it could have happened. No, it didn't happen. But we know that, and then I want to get another car and and every time this happens, well, it has never happened, but whenever there's an idea of it's time for Mindy to get a car, I always want to get some sports vehicle that I can go off-roading and back-roading, in the mountains, or I can go to Kenya, wherever I want to go. And you're always saying, no, Mindy, you can't have the sports car. It's too bumpy for you. You need a very smooth ride. So I'm like, what kind of car can I get that's very, sporty? And you're like, no, you're not going to get that. You're going to get a very smooth drive because that's really all you feel that I can take.
Well, that's not what I feel. I mean, you get in a car with me, and if I'm driving, I don't know what it is, on Topanga or what have you, and there's a bunch of, rivets in the road. Rivets.
That's like something I would say.
Like they're building the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Topanga.
No.
Hey, look, all these rivets out here, Al. No, it's like potholes. And you get upset because you're like, oh, drive slower. I'm like, I'm driving 20. I mean, what can I do? So I know you, and we've test-driven cars that have varied from, like a Mustang to a Maserati, and it's always, it's too sporty, it's too rough. So we sell
when you got a
Land Rover.
Right, and when you got the rental car the other night, just, to keep us,
I wanted to
so that we'd have
surprise
a car.
you.
Right, but it was a sports car, and we went out to dinner, and you were so furious because the car, it was coming up, your Instagram was coming up, you couldn't find the directions, and I was like, Ed, I need the air conditioning, and you were like very pissed at that.
I was not happy.
No, because you couldn't figure out how the car worked, and it was a sports vehicle. So,
well, everything's push buttons. I had no idea what they do. And it was like, it was a new car for me. I didn't know what to do.
I know.
So anyway, that's a different story. But at the end of the day, we're never going to get to the heart of the story, which is your car was stolen.
It was
That's
stolen.
what happened.
That's right.
Yes.
And it has not been returned. No one has returned the car to me. No one has returned the parts to me. I mean, I never even know what kind of car I drive anyway. So
take it apart and go, and wrap it in a little Lexus bow or whatever it is. Yeah. Like it's Christmas. Yeah.
No, I know, but I never know. I just know I drive a black car. So when I didn't see a big black car in the street, I knew my car was gone, but they could come back to me with another big black car. It could be a mail truck. I wouldn't even know the difference. If you said, Mindy, your car's back, I'd be like, okay, great. Because I really don't know cars because I don't care about it. As long as it's a big black car. I know. And everyone's like, oh, has the car come back? No, it's not coming back. The car's not coming back. So I've accepted that already. I've moved on mentally, psychologically. I've moved away from the car and everything it meant to me. There was a beautiful hat I had inside the car. It's very hard for me to find hats. I have a very large head, very square head. Very hard for me to find a hat. So when I find a hat that I love, I keep it. And of course, I left the hat in the car. So now there's going to have to be a big search for a new hat.
This explains a lot. You were laying in bed last night and you yelled out, "Where's my hat?" And I thought, that's what she's worried about? It's like, where's my car?
It's very upset. I'm more upset about the hat. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It was like a felt hat. It was a beautiful, beautiful hat.
We didn't insure the hat.
I know. Well, that's what we should. Yeah, we insure
us.
my jewelry, but we don't insure the hat.
Right.
And it was very upsetting that the hat was gone. And somebody's going to get a gorgeous hat, even though they're driving a car, with a dashboard full of tanning lotion. They're going to have a gorgeous hat while they drive. So they're getting a lot out of this that I'm not getting.
Well, just let them put their hand on those white spots
right
on the
I
door
know.
handle and see what happens to their hands when it's all done.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It was we couldn't clean it to kill us. It was like, there's no way it was going to happen.
No, there was no way.
But
No way.
at least it didn't ruin your lunch, Mindy, because the lunch ended and then the
Right.
problem
No, I
was
had a
realized.
lovely, lovely 2-hour lunch because, I have a lot going on. So when I'm able to squeeze a lunch in like that, I have to get back to my desk in my office where I'm constantly working. I'm returning and exchanging a lot of different things. That's another episode that needs to be returned and exchanged.
Yeah. I have a file, that is knee deep. I don't even know what to do with. But
I know.
But this is not uncommon. People buy stuff online.
Right.
Because there's no store to go to anymore.
Thank you, honey. That's right. There is no store. When you're like, why don't you go to the store and get a tissue box cover? No, I can't go to the store for a tissue box cover. I have to order it online. And when they call me back and say, you know what, we don't have that fabric of the tissue box cover, we need you to pick another color. These are things that take a very long time. I have to sit at my desk and I have to figure this out and make a lot of phone calls to find out which tissue box cover pattern is the one I'm going to want. Is it, the pomegranate and the citrus? Or is it the pomegranate? Yeah, pomegranate in the azure blue. So it's very difficult. And these are jobs. These are big jobs that I have.
Yeah, there goes Bella barking at you again. It's your fault.
Because I didn't get the right cover for the tissue box. She's pissed at that.
Yeah, it's too bad for her. Must be a squirrel. So I don't know what to say, Mindy, except that we're going to get you a new car. I mean, it's Los Angeles.
Yeah, once again, another car, something else. It can't be electric. It can't be anything that's complicated because I like very simple. I don't like these cars that are like airplanes or spaceships inside. I need something very simple and very easy, and I don't need 10 buttons to turn the car on, turn the car off. It's too much for me.
I mean, I'm tempted to get you like a 68 Chrysler. It's like you're going to know where everything is.
If I don't, maybe there's no seatbelts in the car. I don't even have to wear a seatbelt.
Who needs that? Come on. And when I was a kid, I said, Mommy, can I stand on the hump? Which is like where the axle went. Nobody even knows what I'm talking about anymore.
You're dating yourself once again. It's another generation, honey, but okay.
That's right. We had a beat up Plymouth and stuff was coming off the roof and my dad didn't care, it seemed. But then I found out later, well, he did care, but because he wasn't making enough dough. So we came to California and we got a car with the stuff not coming from the roof and seatbelts in the back. So everyone was safe and happy. So the next car will get you seatbelts and you'll have seatbelts and airbags and no makeup
lots of hats. Lots of hats inside the car.
Lots of hats. That's right. And we'll insure them. Now, the cars you used to drive, generally came from your dad.
That's
was like,
true.
I'm done.
My dad, that's right. When I was younger, like maybe in my early 20s or whatever, I never got a new car, which is fine. I always got an old car of my dad's, which, he didn't drive that much, but he did drive when they went out to dinner. I did not get this car, but he had a Rolls Royce, which he drove. And that was like his fancy car when we would go out to dinner on Sunday nights to Matteo's, which it's still around, I think, a very major Italian restaurant. And we would go out to dinner and my dad would drive the Rolls. That is not a car I did get, but my dad would give me his old cars. One of the old cars he gave me was a small Mercedes, like a 450 SL. And it was in those days, I hate to say that because it makes me sound very old, but in those days, you had the removable top that you had to put on and take off with like a huge screwdriver.
I had an SL. You had to crank it.
Okay, so you would crank the car. And
the roof, you crank
the roof. You would crank the roof, and then I have to basically sit on the top of the car just to get, the roof down. So normally I kept the soft top on the car. And I remember the first time I got the car, it was like the first day I was driving it. I had this job. I was like going to be, an assistant to an actor on a movie. That was like my first thing that I did when I was like 19, 20. And I drove the car, got on the freeway. As soon as I got on the freeway, I got into a big accident. The car spun, whatever. The car was totaled. So that was my first car from my dad. Then I think there were other cars along the way. There might have been like an old Jag that I couldn't figure out, or he got.
Oh, I remember the Jag.
He got a Stingray. Is that a car? Is a
Yeah,
Stingray a
that's a
car?
Corvette Stingray.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my dad got, when he used to work at Harrah's Hotels in Lake Tahoe in Reno, the owner of the hotel, Bill Harrah, who was like this very rich guy. In those days, you were a millionaire, not a billionaire. And, my dad worked there so much and he did so well at the hotels that they gave him this Stingray. It was like a silver Stingray. And it said, it was engraved inside, to Don, thank you for all your work, whatever. So that's another car I got. Now, I didn't need this engraving of, to my dad in there,
That
but I
had to be fun
couldn't.
to explain to a date.
Yeah. But I couldn't get that out. So anyway, I was
Right.
given that Stingray. I don't even know what happened to that car. That was one of the
Mm.
many cars. And
Oh,
I
I would
got a
have loved
station
that car.
wagon from my parents, one of these ones with the wood panels on the sides. That was another family car they gave me to drive. So that was a very long, clunky car. As I said, I don't know a car unless it's a big black car. This was a beige car with the wooden panels, like something, from
Yeah.
Bewitched. Yeah.
No, more like
It was
like Chevy Chase Vacation, like with the vacation
right.
movies,
Exactly.
driving the Woody across the country.
Yeah. So he gave me so many cars, but there were always his old cars and I have to say, he was not the best driver. He
Oh,
he
it was
liked to
terrible.
drive, he liked to go to dinner, but any other time he was driving it was always a very big event. It's like, Dad's driving, let's get in the car. It was a very big thing. My dad would be like, don't touch my seat, just, get in the back. And he would have Frank Sinatra blaring, of course, on the radio the whole
Right.
time. So I would learn all the Sinatra songs and I would sing from the back seat. And I had a terrible voice. And my mother was like, Donald, she really sounds very good, because she had no idea. So I thought I was a great singer for many, many years until, I got into the real world and found out, no, that I couldn't really carry a tune that well. So, but that's when I became a forensic pathologist.
Right.
But anyway, so that
And a professional television operator.
that's right. So that's and so that's what happened with the cars. But when he did drive, he loved driving, and his license plate said DJR, and it said 33, which I always thought was the age he was when he got the Rolls Royce. But then you, Ed, who's my father's historian, seemed to say that wasn't the case, that the 33 meant something else. Honey, do you remember saying
And
that?
you know what? Now I can't remember what it meant, but he could have been 33 at the time. He was barely getting started in life.
Right.
I don't know. I know that your mom was
I
born
know.
in 36, so it wasn't.
No, I don't know. It's DJR
birth year.
33. Maybe that was just a random number. But,
Maybe.
that car, it was a blue Rolls Royce, and he loved that car. It stayed in the garage. It got washed every day, 4 times a day. That was his special
Ironically,
car.
and he could never go anywhere, but it got washed.
No, it just went to Mateo's on Sunday nights for dinner. Or Spago, when Spago was the old Spago in Hollywood, we would go in that car there. So it was a very prestigious kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But that was his car. He loved that car, and he loved all of his cars.
Well,
and I got all the hand-me-downs.
He loved getting the car and driving it for a while, and then it was like, okay, let's just dispense with this.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think your mother felt the same way about her cars. It was like, okay, it's just a car.
They never had, really strong feelings.
They weren't car
he did have strong feelings about the Rolls, so that was
Rolls.
sort of, yes. But other than that, they'd get cars, they'd lease them, they'd come, they'd go. They didn't really care that much about the car.
No.
But my dad just had to have everything, in the car. He had to be wearing one of his special hats, and he needed to be, just really put in his seat and just everything perfect in the car, and it had to be spotlessly clean.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 99, 2000, somewhere around that. We were married already maybe 3-4 years. And we were leaving actually the New Yorks for Christmas. And he had just gotten that big black Mercedes that he loved.
Yes.
Big black S-Class that I ended up inheriting for a short time.
Right.
And he goes, boy, that car was a dog. And he goes, you're not going to believe this, Ed. I'm like, what? He's sitting in the driver's seat, and I'm sitting looking into the driver's window as they're leaving. Alarmed, because I knew they had a couple of drinks at night. I thought, oh, Jesus, he's driving home. But he gets in there and goes, look, you hit a button, and it dials Tony. You hit another button, and it dials you. You hit another button, and it dials to Jerry, whoever fixes his TV. Terry. It was Terry who fixes the television. For Terry, it was like, Well, Terry moved to Nebraska, Dad. Oh, right. Yeah. So this one dials Jerry. It's just a million different buttons. I thought that's fantastic, Dad. That's great. It's like he finally learned how to use a phone in a car.
Right.
And this is the way he demonstrated it to me. Too funny. It's too much. And your mother the whole time is sitting like, Donald, can we go now? You know, it was like she just wanted to get it.
Right. He was very excited that he learned how to do that. He was
excited to show off the car.
He loved to learn new things.
He did. He actually did. As long as he stayed with the same act, he liked to learn different things.
That's right.
Speaking of which, we're going to finish up on your dad's Pine Knob Arena show, which was in '96, the year you and I started dating. And it was indicative of what he did. I think where we left off, he had just done the bit with the two, participants kneel down. Your dad's
on
over
stage,
them
and they're just about to come off.
And they're Japanese soldiers. Your dad could not get over World War II.
Right.
And so he kept it in his act. So let's take it from there.
The pharmacist, Dr. Lobb, and Hal, the accountant. Give me a nice hand, will ya? You wouldn't want your ass up here. My God, you were beautiful. You really were. I must say that, Dan. Lithuanian guy. What do you drink, Dan? What do you drink when you drink? What do you drink? Vodka? Good, it's a good drink. Anyway, Hal, thanks for being a good sport. You're a delightful gentleman, and if you get a chance, unless you're in a hurry, come backstage and say hello and bring Mr. Lobb with you, for crying out loud. And your lovely wife. I was kidding you. You're a very pretty lady. You have any children? Now, read the manual and go crazy. Here. And tonight, if you make love, I'll be in town a while. Call me and I'll work the light. Anyway, give both this wonderful gentleman and his lovely wife a nice hand, and Hal.
And I have to say, these audience members loved coming backstage after the show. It was really, really exciting. It was like someone would come to them while they were seated. They're like, would you like to come backstage now and see Mr. Rickles? So they would come, around the curtain, and they'd go into the backstage area, and my dad would always take a shower. Oh, like kings
friends.
And queens. Absolutely. Yeah. And he always had to take a shower first. So they would wait, for him to take a shower, and they'd sit in the dressing, which was lovely room. It was always
stocked.
Like a beautiful, yes, with tons of, alcohol, sodas, whatever. And they would come in, and my dad would come out of the shower. I think I've said it before, in the terry cloth big robe with his initials, and they would sit down and he would chat with them. And really, they had the best time ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Give me a drink. Jeez.
Talking to Joe Mealy.
Oh, it's either a drink or my specimen came back from the lab. Jeez. They got great air conditioning here. They got a roof going. As I said, I'm married 31 years. And my wife has a new thing now. In the middle of the night, she starts that crap. Pussycat, pussycat. And I gotta get my ass under the bed and go, meow, meow. But you do it because everything's in her name.
Just staring at Joe.
Why don't you go outside and look for your name on a sign?
Joe was so deadpan. He didn't move.
His pianist.
I gotta get abroad so bad. Jesus. Thank you very much. You're more than kind, and I appreciate it. Oh, Jesus, trouble with the luggage?
This is where they bring Harry on, who was obviously one of the loveliest people ever. I mean, I know you love Harry so much.
Was.
Harry Grimes. And he was with your dad for decades. And he came on, and he poked fun at the fact that he was African-American and all that. But but they loved each other a lot. So here's the bit they always did.
I guess you didn't make the Olympics. This is a dear friend of mine. His name is Harry. And we've been together a great many years, which I'll tell you about. But we both come from California, and we're dear friends. And we often talk about the problems in the world. And as you well know, around the United States, there are all kinds of problems, and we've had our share in California, as well as you people around the Midwest and what have you. We had racial problems, horrendous racial problems. You've had hurricanes and tornadoes and what have you, and floods in the different parts of the country. But we've had our share, and we've often talked about it, that the racial problem, we only hope the O.J. Simpson case didn't help things, but we certainly hope that things will be better. You agree with me on that, right? And we've always felt that way. Someday, God forbid, we hope there's never another. We had pretty close to an out-and-out race riot, but thank God it got under control. But we pray to God it never happens again, right? And if, God forbid, for some crazy reason... But if, God forbid, if it ever did, and I pray it doesn't, but if there was another race riot, I could use a couch. And if it goes more than 3 days, a couple of end tables would be good. You're a black man.
No.
What?
Italian.
You're Italian. If you're Italian, I'm a Mau fighter pilot, I'll tell you. Well, God bless you in Italy, but get out of that sun. But you're a black man and I'm a white man, and we're all working for one cause, to make sure you don't move into my neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, with all sincerity, this is my friend Harry Goins, and we've been together over 35 years and more. And the beautiful part is, he was with me when I was flat broke. I think you all realize it's so damn easy to have a friend when you're doing great. Everybody wants to be around you. But when you're up against it, boy, friends are hard to come by. And this great man has stood by me. And now, some 35 years and more later, because of you people, I've been blessed with some money and success. And I'm proud and happy to tell you tonight, I'm now getting rid of Harry. No, that's a joke. He knows that. Oh, I'm sorry, I got my suit wet. Anyway, the best thing I can say about him is I trust him with my life. I'd like very much if you'd give my very dear friend a well-deserved hand.
And he really loved Harry so much. We all
really
loved
loved Harry.
him.
Yeah.
He always said, Mindy, I was there when you were in the crib. He always said he was like the first one in the hospital to see me when I was born. And he was such a great man. We loved him so much.
Yeah, we miss him. He was great. And way funnier than your dad gave him credit for.
Oh, my God. He was amazing. Very funny. Very quick. Yeah.
When I say, okay, you stop, for Christ's sake. What the hell's the matter with you? What are you, Yitzhak Perlman's niece? Anyway, what the hell's the matter with you? You stop, for crying out loud. I mean, goddamn it, you're not Count Basie. Just do the job. Sorry, Harry. You know, these things happen. That was cute. You just played the Count Basie signature, right? Let me ask you this. Was that worth losing your job? Old Man River. Anyway, I can get you in that play if you play it smart. You're my brother, and I love you. I'll never forget the words you said to me one day when we first met. Give me your money. Anyway, someday you're going to come up with funnier lines than saying you're Italian. But someday your children and my children intermarry, right?
Right.
Are you crazy? I got enough trouble being a Jew and having some black guys sitting around the house going, Happy Passover, Grandpa, Happy Passover.
Jeez.
Give my friend Harry a nice hand, will you? I dream of the day when the bigot will disappear. L'chaim azalud. You hear those drums? That gentleman's the best drummer in this room. And those drums mean a great deal to me. My wife and I and my dear friends that Jen and Bob Newhart, we just returned from Beijing, China, with the best laundry you ever saw. And we had a great time. But when we came home, we looked at each other as a family and said how lucky we are. We're living in the greatest country in the world. And let none of us forget it. There was a great little Irishman that I had the honor to know and to love, God rest his soul. His name was James Cagney. Jimmy was a tough little Irishman who took a liking to me, and I was so blessed. You young people can see him at Nick and Night as the tough little Irish gangster. The elders might remember him as George M. Cohan and so many other musicals. He was a great song and dance man. Jimmy was a composite of everything that's good and wonderful in America. And he did a number that's so apropos of the way times are today. In his memory. And to you, Jim, and thanks for being my friend to win something like this. And by the way, if you get a minute, take care of my friend George Burns. Hey, George. All right, kid, all right. To win something like this. I'm a Yankee Doodle Yankee Doodle to a dog. Real life nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. She's my Yankee Doodle sweetheart. I'm a Yankee Doodle boy. Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the pony. I am a Yankee Doodle. A Yankee Doodle. A Yankee Doodle boy.
And my dad would run across the stage during this and do high kicks. And my mother would always worry
he must
he was
have done
going
a
to
mile
collapse
and a
on
half.
the floor.
Yeah.
But he never did.
He's going to never collapse.
He never did.
It's really great looking back at this stuff. It's just so good. That's about it, I guess, for Mindy and Don Rickles. Yeah. And there you go, honey. We'll get you a card soon.
I hope so. I feel very alone and abandoned.
And I won't be one of your dad's old,
Ed.
Take care of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for listening in.
Okay, thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.